Speaking of, let's get to a question now from Christy. She wrote, just saw the headline, police training on protests ends with slideshowing mock prayer, I'll get there, for dirty hippie. Yes, there's an investigation, but what more can you find out? It's truly shocking. And Christy, thank you. Yes, there is plenty to talk about with this story, which is probably why national media found it so fascinating. Over the weekend, this story popped up in the New York Times, Rolling Stone, Forbes, and so on. So before we dive in, I do want to point out there are a lot of answers that we don't have right now, like who put this slide into a training presentation, what the punishment will be, and etc. Those answers will take time. But let's walk through the information we do have. So first, here's the meme. It shows someone in tactical gear appearing to beat a man, and it reads, "And the Lord said, woe be unto you, dirty hippie." It talks about christening heads with hickory and anointing faces with pepper spray, and it references leaving the person stitched and bandaged. Now, that meme was featured on the last page of a 110-page presentation. The mayor's office released the whole thing, saying it was developed, they believe, in 2018 to train Portland police officers. They say they don't know for sure whether it was actually ever used to train said officers, and they also don't know who created the presentation or, for that matter, who specifically added that last slide. Still, for perspective, here's some of what else is in the presentation. The title page is simple: protest and riots. We get it. Later, you see photos of crowds and or protests and riots in Iran, Burma, at the G20 summit, and in Ferguson, Missouri. This is kind of flanked with historical context on riots and police tactics, especially of the past. About 60 pages in, this slide states that the players in protests and riots can come from all political sides, literally, quote, anyone with an agenda. And again, keep in mind, the city says this presentation was created in 2018, so pre-2020, pre-George Floyd. So why is it surfacing now? Well, because during the 2020 riots, several advocates, including the group Don't Shoot Portland, filed a federal class action lawsuit against the city over PPB's use of tear gas. Here's what plaintiffs told us at the time.
I have many accounts of people being hurt around me, people doubling over in pain, throwing up. It is mentally traumatizing because I'm going places I can't not look over my shoulder, and when stuff hits the ground, I jump.
We talk about uprisings of civil unrest or the expression of free speech. I think that the concern of our city and the government should be into protecting the rights of those protesters, not to violate their rights, and then also not to poison them or cause harm.
So again, that was in 2020. This lawsuit is ongoing. And last week, the city says lawyers were getting ready to file a motion tied to that suit that included training materials, including this meme. Knowing it would soon become public record, the city basically got ahead of this. They released it along with a video message from Mayor Ted Wheeler.
Let me be clear. I'm disgusted that this offensive content was added to a training presentation for our police officers. As soon as I was made aware of the incident, I reached out to Chief Lavelle, who shared my deep concern and assured me that a thorough and complete investigation was underway. That investigation began in September of 2021, and it's still ongoing. I believe that the hardworking members of the Portland Police Bureau who are seeing this for the first time are also angered and disgusted by the image and words on this slide and how it portrays members of our community and law enforcement.
So you heard the investigation began in September and it's, quote, still ongoing. We do want to point out from our perspective what we've seen, that's not unusual. These often take several months. So when might this one wrap up? We can't tell you at this point, but we will absolutely keep asking. In the meantime, we do want to leave you with the origin of this meme. And by the way, shout out to the journalists who spend more time than probably is healthy in the world of online extremism and were savvy enough to turn to knowyourmeme.com. It credits Based Stickman with creating this meme. That's an alias for a guy named Kyle Chapman. He's a far-right activist and founder of the Fraternal Order of the Alt-Knights, a violent extremist group, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. This photo of Chapman is featured on the website for the Idaho Statesman, who, let's go to the headline, reported that Chapman had a busy week himself. U.S. Marshals arrested him in Boise last Tuesday for allegedly attacking healthcare workers there. So if you have any more questions about this story, once again, there is plenty here at kgw.com, including that entire 110-page slideshow.